You're good?
Okay, so we will call our annual general meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. And we need an approval of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda?
Yep.
If so, could we have
I'll make a motion?
Barb?
I'll make a motion.
Second it.
Second by Ed. We're all in favor, so the agenda is approved.
Yes.
Disclosure of pecuniary interest in the nature thereof. Are there any conflicts of interest tonight with any of the items on the agenda?
No, don't think
Seeing
so.
none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from our January 4th meeting. If everybody's had a chance to look those over. If not, if anybody needs a chance, have a look.
Yep,
did.
there wasn't really much to be said, but no.
Not a lot. Ed, did you have a chance to look over those minutes?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So if everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes, could we have a motion to approve the minutes from January 4th? No, I can't. So Connie, second by Marianne. Okay. So Kayla, that was moved by Connie, second by Marianne, that the minutes be approved from January 4th.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we're moving right on to election of positions. I guess now, Kayla, you may have to jump in here for a second, remind us how we do this election. We need to call for nominations from the floor, is that correct?
So I can host your elections for you, because I'm
Please
impartial.
Please
so what
do.
I'm going to do is I'm going to call for nominations, and then I'm going to make 2 additional calls, and then we will need a mover and a seconder. So I'd like to start with the treasurer position, and I'd like to call for nominations for the position of treasurer.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that Marianne be the treasurer.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations for the position of treasurer? And a final call for a nomination for treasurer. Marianne, do you accept the nomination for the position of treasurer?
Well, I was really kind of thinking, yeah, no, I'll take it. I'll do it.
All right.
Now stop it.
I know.
And now
I thank you for your trust.
And the seconder is from Ed. Ed, do you still second that motion?
Yes, I do.
All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
All in favor, me.
There we are. Congratulations to Marianne. You are now the
Thank you
treasurer.
all. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to perform the similar function for the chair position. Are there any nominations for the chair position?
I'd like to nominate Bill.
All right, Marianne's going to nominate.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations for the position of chair? And a final call for nominations for the chair position. Seeing none, I'll take, was it Councillor Leishman seconded that?
I think it was Barb.
Oh,
Sorry.
Barb? Yep.
Yep.
All right, so moved by Marianne.
Could you get on the other thing?
Bill, do you accept that nomination for the chair position?
If I can work it around my new acting career, I'd be happy to be the chair again this year.
Shall I get in contact with your manager?
You can be my agent, Kayla. Yes,
Right.
I will accept the nomination. Thank you.
Okay, so moved by Marianne, seconded by Barb. All in favor?
Yep.
Excellent. Bill, you are now the chair of the Sunnidale Hall.
Thank you, everyone. It's good to be back on. Thank you so much for the honor.
Right.
Do we need an election, Kayla, for just board members now, or just was that it, just the 2 executive spots?
Nope, that's it. That's just for your
Okay.
executive positions, unless you have
Okay.
any other positions that you'd like to create or have filled.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, not right.
Okay,
Not
perfect.
right
Thank you,
now.
everybody. That was great.
Not right now,
Yep.
anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
We may have a project manager later.
Yeah. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the chair's annual report. I didn't do an annual report last year, and I really don't have anything formal for this year. More so just to say, obviously it was a different year last year, obviously, with what we went through. It started off with a lot of optimism and excitement on our part, thinking that we were going to maybe break ground on our exciting new renos. And of course, that came to a screeching halt in March. And tough year, and a day that we all knew was going to come, but came faster than we wanted, was the church moving on. And we knew that day was coming, but what a great, how many years did we have them, Marianne? 7 or more?
7 years.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and they still,
I don't know how many.
And they still haven't broke ground with the other church.
Yeah. And I don't know how many halls have benefited from back-to-back renters like we've had with the dance room, and then right from the dance room pretty much to the church. So we're very, very fortunate, and certainly helped our bottom line, our bank account. So unfortunately, I've always been a bit of a glass half empty kind of a person, and I don't see 2021 being a whole lot greater than what we just suffered last year. So there's going to be some more lean times ahead of us. Financially, we're in good shape. They're not going to, they're not going to lock the doors or shut off the hydro. And I think it was even mentioned, really it's the town's responsibility anyway. They own the halls, but we'll just, it's onwards and upwards and move forward. And hopefully our dream of that wonderful renovation will come true sooner than later. So we'll just, we have to follow the protocols that are put in place in front of us, and it'll be a while, even I think, once things do reopen, before people are vaccinated and comfortable with having large gatherings. So we're in for some lean times ahead of us at the hall, but you know what, we've got a good core group, and we're definitely gonna get through it. So great to have everybody back on this year, and we don't have Courtney with us tonight, but it's great to have Courtney on with us, and hopefully as we move forward, we can continue. Sherry Baker join us for some meetings, and and the community will need to rally around us when we have our breakfasts and our dinners and our euchres and any other special events. We've always, great people, a phone call away or a text away helping us. And, we're going to be back in that kitchen laughing it up soon over 5 turkeys. I know we are. Anyway, just hang in there, guys. Yeah, for sure. So you know what? We're just in the same boat everybody else is in right now, and we'll get through it. So that wasn't really an official report, but that's about, as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. And that's all I got to say about that. And that's recorded for posterity. So that's my report. So we'll move on to item number 7 now, Treasurer's Annual Report. Marianne, if you have something for us, anything different from last month?
To tell you the truth, I don't have anything. I just noticed that now. I went, oh dear, I missed that line. But I mean, we know there hasn't been anything changed from just our last income, except that, telephone, hydro, and a bit of Spartings. Now I finally got the other Spartings. We finally got the propane all figured out. And so they came in, and I had to tell you real quick, they called, and I'm going, well, I says, what are you gonna do with our propane? We're getting down. Well, I'm showing 80%. I says, your gizmo isn't working right. I said, we're down to 40% on the tank. So then I said, I'll call you back. I went down the hall, took my camera, took a picture of the actual gauge. And now it was down below 40%. So I went back and I downloaded it and I sent it over. I said, did you get my email? He goes, oh my God. I said, well, that's what I said to you. I said, there hasn't been anything in there except for that $123, which is nothing, right? So anyway, they came in and they, sure enough, they put in 425 liters, so $268. So I said, perfect. He said, yes, we now have it figured out what was going on. So they fixed that little gizmo on top of the tank, and And I'd mentioned to them about the fire hall. Don't get those two tanks mixed up, because one other time he filled up the fire hall one, and we didn't get anything or whatever. So that was a few years ago. So anyway, so that's 220, 268. And then our hydro is up a little bit, 134.69. And of course, our Bell telephone's the same at 55.52. And Bill, I got to, you and I got to get together. I need checks.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I can pop by on my way home from work one night to sign some checks if need to.
Because they're due on around February the 10th. So if I'm by your place, I'll stop in and get some.
If there wasn't a wheat field between us, I'd ride the Polaris over. I'm not allowed to go in the wheat. I'm not allowed to go in the wheat field. I've been Farmer Gilpin has said not on the wheat, only on the corn. So.
Yeah. Well, there's no corn in, so. But anyway.
That's true.
Okay. I think that's pretty well. It's been slow, everybody, as you know. But
why does the fire hall have a propane tank? Do they actually heat that place in the winter?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
And right. upon that, when I thinking of it, I just want to ask everyone, Barb, not so much Ed, but maybe Connie or and yourself, Bill, myself, and Courtney's already. When you go by after a big snowstorm, there's times where I'm not down there. And Raymond went by and he says, I stopped by the hall and shoveled the walkway out. And because it was right up past the doors. So because we're not down there all the time, so don't really expect me there, to be there. So I went down 2 days ago and there was about 4 or 5 inches of snow. Because it's the roof coming off, right? So anyway, I shoveled it off. I went in and I wrote the date and why I was there, shovel out the just above it, there is C. Hubbard. I'm going, C. Hubbard, what was that? Shoveled walkway. It was Courtney. See, I forgot her name now was Hubbard, not Smith. So anyway, so it was good for, bless her heart, that she came down there and she shoveled it out. And then Raymond shoveled it out after that big 4 feet of dump we had there on Saturday. He just happened to be going by and, the snowplows come in, but, it's too bad one of the guys at the township, when they're right there, just doesn't take very long. But anyway, so
that would require getting out of the plow.
Huh?
That would require actually getting out of the truck.
Yeah, where it's warm. So I mean, when you're going down and you're getting gas,
absolutely. I can do that. I just, you know what, Marianne, this whole year, I can't even tell you the last time I actually set foot in the hall.
Yeah, I know.
I don't honestly remember the last time I was in. I don't even think about it. So all I do is I glance up at the sign that says we're almost there, and we've been almost there for a year.
I guess I better change that, eh?
Yeah, just change it to we're nowhere near there.
Yeah. So,
yeah, no, I'll definitely.
That's one of the reasons.
Sorry, Barb. Yeah.
Is the shovel left outside, Marianne? Outside the door?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. Well, winter just technically started 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That's okay. One of the reasons.
Okay, I just thought. Sorry, Barb. What? Go ahead.
That's Barb. One of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why it was important that we had that overhang over that entrance.
That's right.
Remain in the construction plan.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly, because she was hanging real good. And here's the other problem: when it gets warmer, and if we're not constantly down there, now you can't even move it, and maybe we have to bring out the snowplow. Oh, here's the other thing that I noticed, and I checked it today. Your pipe coming out from the furnace. When I was over there the other day, and I shoveled, and I looked over, and the snowbank was right there, and the pipe was right here. And I'm thinking, if we have a big stop off the roof, it's going to cover that vent. So I went down today because I had bigger boots on, but the snow had, with the warmth, it had gone down. So now the vent was about this high, above the. So we really have to have a mindset about that.
if we do have a situation where we get the snow come off that roof, it's really heavy and dense, I can run down the road with my Kubota with the blower on it and blow that snow out of there.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be great.
If anybody happens by, if I don't see it, just text me or call me and let me know, and I'll run down and have a look. And I can be down there in 2 minutes with the tractor and put it there. So,
get the blow right by and then do the back road.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
good
great.
idea.
No, I can
Good
do that.
idea. Great,
Yep,
thanks.
okay.
Give me a chance to show off the tractor.
Okay.
So is that your report
good,
then, Marianne?
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I guess I should have had, but it's
okay. No, I think emailed as part of the, and they pretty much were the same month ago. So, and you actually you actually covered off the propane tank update as part of your update there. So
1, 2, 3, maybe $425 difference from my last report.
Well, we're in remarkably good shape, all things considered. So okay, so moving right on to new business, hall renovations. So the reason that we delayed the meeting by a week was to give, I guess, Rob Nordegraff a chance to chime in with a quote, Marianne. So do you want to speak to the quotes that you have and exactly tell us exactly what you showed these guys and give us an idea what their pricing is and any kind of modifications that they may have thrown in?
We really have no price, Bill, because what was seen on this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We all got, right? And talking to Terry, and he goes, well, you'll have a breakdown on that. No, we don't. We don't. That's just an overall look at different stuff. And I said that to Terry. I said, Terry, what both of these contractors are asking for is a material breakdown sheet. They need to know what the price, how did they get this $450,000? Not talking about fab, not about the old stuff that's been there for 200 years. Just to do the front part.
Right.
You know, what we're looking at. And Stacy, he's all wound up. I went to him during a snow blizzard, and he goes, yep, I gave him the big sheets that we got, with the
design.
The design and that. Yeah. But he says that's not doing them any good because they need more. So I went into all those 136 pages, and I printed out every one that was dealing with Sunnidale. I put it in a binder and I took it over for Stacy. So he's got that information, but he looked at it. He said, "I'll look at it, but this isn't really giving us. They need material. They need to know." Terry told me the elevator is $100,000. So, but anyway, so I got talked with Rob. Rob can't do it, but Harry is very interested in doing this. Harry Nordegraff. And you know what he told Rob? Here's what Rob told me just yesterday. Harry's very interested in doing. He has a number of projects on, but he said probably won't happen this year. Well, I'm thinking it probably won't happen this year when things are going, right? But he said to Rob, Harry says, yes, I would like to do that job because, and I would be fair with Clearview on my pricing because he says it's my tax dollar too.
Yeah.
And that's more or less what Stacy said too. He said, we live here, and he says, we really want that hall to look. Stacy said, it's a beautiful hall. We have to keep it up. And Harry wants, and then Rob says, Harry wants me to be the overseer if he gets it, because he's got a number of things on. So Rob would come in and kind of oversee what's going on and let Harry know if Harry can't be there. Because Harry's got about 9 or 10 guys now. So I thought, oh, Rob, I said, that's great. That's great. So anyway, that was what they said, but we really need to get in touch with Terry, for Terry to get a hold of of
Burnside.
Burnside. Thank you, Burnside. And we need to get a true thing of what's going on. We need to. That'll probably cost us some money, but.
Well, it's going to cost us money anyway if we get someone to look at the plans and draw us out the actual specs on what we need. That engineer thing. So, are you done, Marianne?
Well, I'm just waiting to see what you were going to say. Because.
Okay, so I've been talking to Terry too, and I looked at the company that was we talked about the elevator from, and I looked at their website, and they do have a chairlift that's commercial.
Oh, Terry told me about that. Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't tell anybody on the board because I wanted to get the numbers before I said anything in case y'all got too excited.
Yeah.
That's the biggest number we have in this reno is that elevator. And
yeah.
It's really bugging me.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think that we need to spend $100,000 on an elevator we're going to use maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Carrying
at the moment. Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is get it out of the equation and maybe simplify it a bit. It won't change the renovation because the elevator doesn't have to be dug down, but the renovation itself for the new entrance and the stairs might have to be changed because if we put a chairlift in, the stairs that we have will not accommodate a chairlift at the moment. But what I'm thinking is if we're going to do this renovation anyway, it's a lot cheaper to rebuild the stairs than it is to put an elevator in. Those stairs aren't going to cost $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And we need some new stairs anyway. Right.
So what Terry did was he sent it back to Burnside because Mina isn't there and he doesn't know how Mina came up with these numbers. So I think his name was Jerry. I can't remember. Anyway, the fellow that's looking after now is going to go back and look at Mina's numbers and see what he's got and why he put an elevator in instead of a chairlift.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one sticking point with the chairlift. If it's going to be used for an event, we have to have someone there that knows how to run it. So my suggestion would be that if we can, if all fingers crossed, we can get rid of the elevator and just put in a chairlift and new stairs, I think we should all be trained to use this so that if there is an event that they need to use it, one of us can be there. My thoughts are that most of the times we'll use it will be for our own events. So we will be there. So I don't see that as a problem. My only concern would be if it was a private event and they needed to use it, then one of us would have to be there or we would have to hire somebody to look after it. But that's just the
I have
one
a question.
Sorry, Barb.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. This chairlift we talked about once before. How does that work with a wheelchair?
There's one chairlift that has a platform. It's not an actual sit-down chair that you have to get out of your wheelchair and sit down. You actually wheel your wheelchair onto it, and the lift itself goes up the stairs.
What about people that have trouble with stairs?
We have to find out whether we can do that or not.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So that's why I phoned Terry to ask him, and he said he got in touch with Burnside, and Burnside said we'll have to look back and see what Mina was thinking at the time.
Yeah.
Because really, what I'm looking for, I need a breakdown of the costs of materials. I want to know how Mina got to where he was with that cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this fella, I think his name's Jerry. God, I hope it is. Anyway, he's going to look into it. So we're not obviously in any hurry. But I think if we can do this, it's obviously if we can take 100,000 out of this equation, we're a lot closer than we are right now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I know when we looked at the chairlift before.
We did.
Years ago.
But it was But at that time,
but the only thing is going downstairs.
We were not allowed to use a chairlift. I was told that a community center could not use a chairlift. It had to be an elevator. That was, when did we start looking at this? 2 years ago?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. 4 years ago.
Well, Nina was still there. So, but now it seems that if it is a commercial chairlift, which I realize they make, we might be okay. But, well, fingers crossed. I don't know.
There anyway, may have to be some adjustments with the stairs downstairs.
Well, there may have to be adjustments to the stairs.
It's narrow, right?
Well, Mike Schmidt, after he had retired from the hall, several months after, actually, he sent me a text, and I don't know if I forwarded it to you, Marianne, or not, but he saw a lift, like a chairlift type thing at a hall that he saw in Tara, and he forwarded me pictures of it. And it's exactly what you said, Connie. It's like a platform. Yeah. It's up like this on the side of the stairs out of the way, and then you put it down, and it actually, this will go right around the corner of a wall. That's and right. Down. We'd have to, widen the downstairs stairs, but it certainly would be a lot more economical for us. And as far as like a person who's not in a wheelchair but would require like an elevator type of a thing to get up, I would say you just put a chair in it that they can sit on, close it. It's enclosed too. It's not like a platform where you're going to slide out of this thing. It's a platform that you're kind of locked. So there's always, that. So it'd be a lot more economical. And on top of that, the maintenance of an elevator every year would kill us.
Money.
Yeah, it will.
Like thousands of dollars. And like you said, Connie, for something we'll use 4 times a year. So
yeah, but not this elevator that they're looking at, because this isn't an elevator. It's a loo. Right, Connie? It's called not loo. A louver. So it's a little different. So you get away from.
It's well, the company is Severia. Yeah, it's that. That's the one.
Oh, look at that. Who did that?
That's the one I was looking at.
Oh,
so I guess
wow.
Nice.
Wow. That's nice. Yeah. That's big.
So you see, there's actually a bar. If you can see it, there's a bar that if someone was standing, they could hang on to it.
Yeah.
But it also has little sort of, I don't know, barriers. So the wheelchair won't flip out or we. So,
wow.
But as you can also see, the stairs have to be fairly decent to do this.
Yeah. Well, we need new stairs anyway. Like they're not good, right?
No, they're not up to spec because we got the specs on that and there was all kinds of things that we had to change on it. So if we got to change them anyway, why not rebuild them? And
that's what you
now,
need.
do we have to go that big, or can we go the one like down the corner?
I don't know. Oh. That's what I'm trying to find out. That's Terry sent it to. That's why Terry sent it to the engineers to see what's the story.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Because can someone sit? Can someone standing in a wheelie walker, just standing, push it onto it and stay on standing?
Yeah.
And go
up? See the bar? Barb, do you see this bar?
Yes. Yeah, I see it, and that looks excellent.
Well, you can hang on to that. That's what they hang on to.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So what happens with ones that don't have a walker but can't do the stairs? Can they just go up and hold on?
Well, you could, or you could just put a chair in there like someone suggested and sit down.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will find all these things out. Let's, when we get the say so from the engineers. The other thing I was thinking that is if this works for our hall, it would work for all the other halls.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get a deal if we have to have like 5 of them. Something like that.
Yeah.
So
it'd
be worthwhile for the township to look into doing that instead of an elevator.
I said that years ago, if the township could maybe get all the halls on board and get one company to quote all 7 halls or whoever needs it.
Yes. So. Yeah. Even with the elevator themselves, that would be a deal.
And even expand that. I mean, expand that out and even get a hold of some of the outlying halls that might need them too. Like Horning's Mills or whatever, reach out and say, you know what, we can get a big discount on this thing. So you can all get together.
As long as there's Well, as long as they're in Simcoe County,
true.
they be in the buying power of Simcoe County. So,
well, you know, I'm all about promoting Simcoe County.
Yeah.
yes, I realize that.
I hear that on television.
I know he's our star.
Our star.
Here's something new. I was just thinking, you know those cement walls, the brick walls?
Yes.
They don't go right to the roof. Like, what are they supporting? Ed,
stairs.
you know that? Yeah, do we need those?
I don't know.
Does the hall really need that cement wall? Because it looks like it goes so far and then it stops.
Yes.
Ed? What do you think?
Start wrecking now.
Oh no, we may have to wreck. No, we may have to wreck. Take that walls out, support it so this chairlift can turn and go downstairs. Because the other way they were talking about was make our kitchen smaller, where that wall was going to go anyway, and push that whole wall into the kitchen to make that stairway wider. So if he's going to do that, do we need that cement wall at all and frame it? I don't know. I'm no carpenter, but it's just a thought.
Well,
I don't understand
that. I would think that if we could do the chairlift instead of the elevator, it might have to be redesigned a bit at the front.
Yeah, of course.
But we're already putting the addition on. So whatever we do, we will have enough space and room to be able to reconfigure or build the stairs. That's already, I believe that's already sort of, you can see that already in the plan.
Go ahead. Yeah. Because what kind of a price? You can see about going up, but it was the going down that stopped the first one.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't wide enough.
What kind of a price are we looking at with something like this? When we were looking at the other one, it was like 100,000.
It's 100,000. I would think it's a lot less, but the other thing that it isn't, we don't have it maintained twice a year or inspected twice a year. It might only have to be inspected once every other year or something like that. So that expense might be a little less too.
Much less to install it.
But how much, did you get any kind of price range on it?
No, I didn't get a price. I left that with the engineers. I actually asked Terry, well, I suggested to Terry it would be nice if we could see a breakdown of the costs.
Yeah. Well,
and know what we're dealing with.
Motion that they go ahead with that and see how it comes out.
I think and that's what Clark's and Nortograph need. They need a breakdown.
Yeah.
So they can, and to give them a fair kick at it, you know.
I guess one of the big questions I have for Connie is what happened at the town level, and what did they decide? Are they going to, how much money are they going to be able to donate towards the hall?
We haven't had that discussion yet, Barb. We haven't talked about the halls at all. It has not come back. The only thing we've discussed is what I've discussed with Terry. And the only thing we've discussed is that it's one of many things we have to finish before our term. So I know it's going to be done this year. We're going to talk about the halls. I'm thinking early spring. It's something that we'd like to sit down and do face-to-face with the hall boards, but it might have to be virtual, which I feel is terribly unideal, not the best situation. But, you know, we'll do what we have to do. But until council actually talks about it, I won't have anything to tell you about what they're willing to give us. I do know that there's $4 million available to the halls in that renovation budget, or the accessibility renovation budget, or whatever expenses we have for the halls. But I don't know how they're going to configure it. Last time we did something with the township, they paid 50%.
I thought that one of the reasons why we were having this meeting tonight was because you were going to be able to find out from council about what they were going to do, because we wanted to go ahead with the renovations.
And council was willing to talk about it, but the timing just wasn't working. And apparently they didn't have all the answers to bring to the meeting yet. So until they do, we can't really do much about it. But you know, I can still work behind the scenes and talk to Terry and see whether we can get the engineers to sort of move along on our project. It doesn't hurt. No. Well, at least I'll have something to have with me when I go to the meeting with the council.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we've got two contractors here that is very into doing this project for us anyway. I don't know what the rest of
I think that's great, and I think that will be something that I will obviously let's say be insistent upon, that we do use local contractors. And quite frankly, you know, the policies that we have for doing RFPs and stuff like that, like proposals, I'm not sure we should have to do that with our small hall, because we're the board that looks after the hall. I think it's our decision, not council's. But I might be out of my league on this one. Yeah. But I'll you know, I'll just keep plugging away until we get the answers that we're looking for. Okay. Yeah,
we don't want $1 million anymore. 500,000 will be just about right.
Yeah.
And you know, I like Rob was saying about the fab stuff, and I said, well, some of that stuff now has kind of been pushed back. You know, let's get that front piece all done, and then the fab stuff will nibble away at that as we go. You know, I guess the kitchen really needs to be done. Get those vents and that done before too long, I guess. But why do that if we're going to take a wall out?
Yeah. If we want to use it, then we'll have to do that.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, but why do that ahead of time if we may lose a wall?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think it might be reconfigured. We might not have to use the wall. We might be able to go into the front, into the new renovations instead of taking out the room of the kitchen.
That's right.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see.
As I'm outside,
I think it's a whole new ball game. I really think that, you know, we're farther ahead than anybody else other than Evening, but there's no way on earth that I'm going to talk about that one. Anyway, yeah, so I think I can keep pushing, and they know that I am doing this. So, and because that Sunnidale is this far ahead, this is what's triggering the other thoughts with the other halls and getting them online. I'm going to tell you something else that I found out the last few days through my conferences. There's $60,000 sitting there that we can apply for accessibility for the hall through the accessibility ministry. But it also goes through Trillium, which is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess my suggestion would be go ahead. If you can figure out a way to, you know, fill out a form for Trillium and ask for some money for the accessibility, I think you should.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Billy.
I know we talked about the Trillium. Like, I have no experience with it, Marianne. You have more than me. I'm willing to certainly jump in and help with it.
It's a lot simpler than what it was when we did it in 2011.
I'm sure it's probably online forms and whatnot. Just
pretty straightforward apparently now.
Yeah.
And being called Trillium, I assume it's Government of Ontario funding. This is not.
Yeah.
Provincial, not federal.
Build. It's called Community Build or something plus Trillium, and they put it together, and all together they have like 100,000. Anyway, they've got quite a bit of money to give out all across Ontario.
You and I.
So it's up to us.
$2,000.
Not right now.
As a start.
No.
If you'd like, I'll talk to Terry and see what he thinks about it, and we can go from there. But I'm still plugging away.
No, that's good.
Oh, that's good in front of them.
Yeah.
So, and I just heard Glenn Harvey say in the background he wants to give us some money. That's great. Thanks, Glenn. We'll take all you want to give us.
Did you say 200,000 there, Glenn?
Thanks.
I wish.
I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I wish. What?
Oh, wonderful.
Glenn keeps saying to me is if we get the community involved, that we need more money, that we can go to different businesses, especially our large farmers in the area, and tell them that this is what we're after, this is what we're trying to do, and set up some kind of foundation or some kind of organization in which we can go to these large farmers, large companies, and ask them for donations. I've always said all along that we should go to our building community, our home hardwares, or
Timber Marts,
and ask them for donations.
Yeah.
Timber Mart. Yeah.
And ask them for donations.
Well,
Timber Mart for if we get all the lumber through them, ask the donations. Community.
Yeah.
Camden Brothers.
I'm confident that we can get what we need from the community if we have to raise the money. I have no doubt about that. I know people love our hall. I know that the Sunnidale Hall community is quite strong and quite loyal. So I really don't have any qualms about it. It's going to take a while, absolutely. I mean, look at the library. We're not, we've raised 150,000 or a little over 100,000 for the library, and like that's the whole community. That's pretty sad. But there's something about Sunnidale Hall.
Well, that's more or less what Harry said. When Rob told me, and Harry said, I'm gonna be very fair to Clearview, because that's my tax dollars coming in there too. So he can do it for less.
Marianne?
Yes, Glenn.
Can I?
Are you in the whiskey?
Can I speak? No.
No, good, okay.
I don't drink.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry I interrupt you.
How about buy a brick? What they done at Collingwood Community Fair Center. Everybody around here, you can buy a brick for $100 or $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
That's actually the William Keith Senior Memorial Wall at the G&E, the Buy a Brick program. That was my dad's wall. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, your dad did that?
Well, no, it's named in honor of him. It was actually, that was in the works when my father was the manager of the G&E, and we were breaking ground for the new exhibition hall, and he had his heart attack in May of '96, and Dan Needles and the rest of the board decided to name the wall in his honor, and we had it was called the Big Beef Barn Buster, and we had a roast beef supper and sold bricks for $100 a pop, and that whole wall, every brick on that wall and that walk between the G&E is a $100 brick. And we actually got the idea from Brampton Agricultural Society, who did something very similar. It was buy a plaque. So they just did little brass plaques, again, $100 a plaque. So it was a great fundraiser, and it raised about $40,000 in one night for us at the G&E. And just thinking out loud, if we weren't in this COVID situation right now, or if we actually find our way out of it within a year, as we're talking about this, I'm visualizing almost a wine and cheese type of a invitation type of an affair, where we invite the Somervilles and we invite the people, the cooks over here that just put in this 300 head of cattle, and every farmer and Homes Agro and every business, and we wine and dine them, tell them what we're doing, we tell them how we are, and get them to tug on their heartstrings there and get them to reach into their pockets or come up with a plan for their fundraising. So hopefully we see our way out of this COVID, so we can. It's hard to go with cap in hand virtually right now. If we can offer them something, so just keep thinking. Let's keep on thinking ahead. So, thinking
back on this brick that Glenn was bringing up. the picture here.
Marianne?
Hold on a second.
Marianne?
Yes, Glenn.
You know where? Marianne?
Yes, Glenn.
Yes. Where I came up with the brick idea was from the Currys in Collingwood. Pete and Mike Curry almost built the fairgrounds. And it was all because of this brick idea. And I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good idea, Glenn.
Cousins of my dad's.
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying here, on this, it's only a picture, but here's a thought. See along here in the bottom? Where in this picture, it kind of shows that it's brick or something. Do you think that's where we could put all these bricks? Buy the bricks, and then they would be around the whole hall. Yep. Yeah, along the front, but not in the walkway, but on the front.
Yeah, on
the front. They have it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like this.
Definitely.
See? Like that. And then you could have that all brick, and then brick. And now, would you put people's names on it? How
okay,
does that
so
work?
Marianne, not to interrupt, but here's the thing with the buy a brick idea. If you're going to if you're going to sell bricks where we're going to be engraving names, it's not the kind of thing where you can just hire a guy to come out and engrave 3 names as we sell them. The idea is to have a big fundraising bonanza where we sell them and then we get them done and we install them. Because
where will you install them? You make a wall?
Yeah, if the brick wall at the G&E, all those are just maybe a 1/4 inch thick. They're not full blown, bricks. They're a 1/4 inch.
Bricks. They're veneer,
and it's actually one big piece. It looks like individual bricks that were put on, but it's all one big slab. And 90% of them were all done during that fundraiser. And then the empty spots that were filled afterwards, it took us a while. Like, for example, let's say I sold 5 bricks because I bought one for each of my nieces and nephews. The guy that was doing the engraving would say, let me know when you've got 10 names and I'll go out and do it. I'm not going out to do 1 or 2. I'll go out and do them. Right?
Yeah.
So the other idea, and I can show you pictures. I actually have videos somewhere in my collection. Down in Lexington, Kentucky at the American Saddlebred Horse Museum, their brick walkway that walks up to the doorway, names of horses and trainers are on bricks on the ground as you walk up, a brick walkway.
Oh, wow.
So, and they sell those. Now, those, you're talking millionaire horse owners, so they sell those at $1,000 a pop, not 100, but 100 is realistic.
Yeah.
Is there anything that it's like up there at the hospital that you can put it on the wall upstairs? Different names, and then you don't have the outside worry about in the wintertime or frost or anything else.
Yeah.
I tell you what you can do. What you can do is, because we have the money, is the Burton Somerville Memorial Wall of Support.
Yeah.
Well, put it on the wall.
Well,
the wall itself is in memory of Burton, and then all the names underneath. I mean, how many people in this area?
Bill, the money was designated for a garden. So my suggestion is that maybe the garden should have a brick wall as a retainer to hold the garden in. And then maybe also have the garden as well, because I think
that was
we have to kind of follow what the desire was of Fran and Burton, which was a garden in front of the hall. So if we could use the bricks to do kind of a little garden, I think that's a great idea. And it wouldn't be such a stretch to maybe put names on a board in nice calligraphy rather than having to etch them into the bricks themselves.
People want something for their money though, Connie. I agree with what you said. And this is what we debated this is something we debated 25 years ago at the fair board level. If you're going to have people reach into their wallet to write a check for $100, don't put it on a cheap piece of paper or a cheap handwritten something on a wall. They need
I wasn't thinking cheap, but Yeah.
Right. They need some.
I don't know.
Those bricks.
I just thought a lot of
I can tell you those bricks cost the fair about $10 to make with the engraving on them. So for every brick we sold, we made $90. And it looks good.
I still like the idea. I still like the idea. As I was thinking the same thing as Ed was, is the plaques on the wall like they do at the Collingwood Hospital of people that had donated whatever amount of money, and it was a plaque that was put on the wall that people that had donated money towards whatever.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yes, and they look good and they look nice.
Well, I think what we've come to the conclusion is that we're pretty sure we can get the money out of our community, and I'm pretty sure we can find ways of doing it. And I think the brick and wine and cheese is one way. I think plaques might be another. There's a lot of different ways we could sort of encourage our community to support the hall, not because they already do. Let's face it. So, anyway,
I think the community supports us. And I don't think we have to worry about it. Like Ed, you said you're a glass half empty. I'm a glass half full.
No, I did. That's me.
This pandemic is not going to last forever. And the community is going to be around for a long time. So we don't have to wait for the pandemic to be over to go out to our members in the community and say, this is what we're planning on doing. And
we don't. We can start earlier. But let's get all the specs first and figure out how we're going to do this before we do start.
We can't go back.
We have to also be careful about sticking our hand out looking for donations in slim places. There's still a lot of people not working.
That's right.
But I would sooner look down the line when things are reopened and things are happening before we plan any kind of gala type fundraiser. Don't do it half-assed, do it right. I love the idea of offering them a plaque or a brick or something that's permanent that they can admire and look at and say, I was a part of this. And the nice thing about a donation wall, I mean, you might only get one brick sold to Connie Leishman, but Leishman's Pottery might buy 5. I mean, if you look at that wall at the fairground, Stainer, IGA, or Foodland bought 10 bricks. You know, Collingwood Loblaws bought 5. So corporations will buy multiple, of this. So,
yeah. Well, I also think that at the end of this pandemic, Sunnidale Hall will have one big party.
You got that right.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Big party.
So we will put our hands out then too and have the bucket there.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be good, but let's get it to the fine detail first before we even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a sit down and decide how we're going to do it. Then we can go out and Peace Naturals. Hell, they'll take a whole. They're going to take 1,000 bricks.
Well, they better
get them high enough. They won't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll keep working on behind the scenes with Terry, and we'll kind of get it all locked down a bit more, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if you can get that material work, and then the contractors will have something to look at.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
And before we, basically we're just looking at adjournment next. Is there any?
Do we need to make a motion?
You already talked about the propane tank thing, unless there's something else you had to add to that.
No.
Well, I'm just asking if there's anything else for discussion before we ask for
that was a good talk, everyone.
Or else I'll just sit back.
Glenn, what else have you got for us there? Glenn, you've talked more than Barb tonight.
I know. It's scary, isn't it?
I didn't think you could hear me.
Yeah.
We can hear.
We can hear you. We heard your offer of the money. We heard that. Cha-ching. Marianne heard the money part. Okay, well, if there's nothing else to discuss, then I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I so move.
Moved by Ed, second by Marianne. All in favor? Thank you very much, Kayla. We are adjourned, and we'll discuss a next meeting at another time. We'll throw out some dates down the line. We don't need to decide on a meeting now. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, take care.